common sense analytics. And I just wanted to show y'all my TikTok page because I discuss a lot of different things on there. You know, what they call um, conspiracies, but I don't think it's a conspiracy when it can be proven true. But what is a conspiracy is the fact that they don't want you to know a lot of this information. So they put out these fake ass Facebook fact checkers and these Twitter fact checkers and stuff. And most of these cats are probably in their 20s, you know, young guys that have been given a script to read on what the truth is. But, you know, all it takes is a little common sense and you can figure out what's going on with you. All you have to do is just ask logical questions. But I wanted to show y'all a few things. This is Pro on political freedom. This is the program that's still used to this day to help neutralize, as they say, a black messiah rising from the populace. Meaning they don't want anybody to have any common sense and think, and cause others to have common sense. Well, cause others to utilize their common sense and think, because the situation that we're going through, you know, everybody talks about all the different things going on in the world and all of that, but this is actually operation, or as we like to call psyops. And the reason that psyops is because occurred, be it through media, whether it's music, television, whatever. These situations stick with you. They affect you in different ways, make you question. Well, no, they don't make you question. They make you conform to whatever is being presented in front of you. You know, so you have situations, you have COINTELPRO, one government program. Here's another book I have, you know, 20 Years of Censored News by Carl Jensen. You know, it talks about stories that weren't really talked about, or that when they were talked about, they were more or less censored. You know, they weren't given to us the way they should. You know, they were lies, diluted nonsense, propaganda. You know, and we could thank the Smith Act for that. Obama for you know, rising that and making sure that it's something very prevalent today. The Smith-Mundt Act basically says that use propaganda to try to sway the public, meaning they could just make up shit. They can make fake events. They can shit and say it on the news, and the Associated Media, who's in their talking heads, which is every media station around the country giving out the same basic message. Well, if you're giving everybody the same basic message, you turn the general consensus into zombies, almost, in a sense, because everybody believes what's told to them. Nobody has any type of common sense. Now, I'm gonna keep going back to that. That's the reason my live stream is called Common Sense Analytics, is because this is what I deal with. I don't claim to be any type of guru. I don't claim to be any type of master teacher. I don't be none of that. I'm a nigga with common sense. And You should question. I tell you something that I think about. Why the hell is Donald Trump such a threat? Brought up on charges. How is a man that's been arrested several times, indicted several times, accused hella times, how is he still the most popular person to become president? So you need to ask yourself logical ass questions. I learned this a long time ago. You will give you your heroes and your enemy. I know that probably went over your head. Basically, you shouldn't trust anybody who tells you who you shouldn't trust compared to who you should trust. Meaning, how the hell can the government, which means basically mindful government, governing mentality, how can they tell you who you should like and who you shouldn't like? How they gonna tell you that you should like Biden but shouldn't like Trump? I don't like neither one of them, but I am intelligent enough, and I do have enough damn common sense to know that that this whole concept they have with selecting the lesser of two evils is a big sham in itself, because the person that tells you to select the lesser of two evils controls the game. It's like Las Vegas, like I told you in a previous live stream. You're in the house. Our society is like Vegas. Whatever they give you, if they put out something for you to benefit from, then best believe that they benefit off both ends of it, meaning whether you succeed or lose, because the game is rigged. It's just like with Vegas. Even when you win in Vegas, you still lose because you wind up giving that money back to Vegas. Or, okay, let's put it like this. Let's say you win and you don't play no more. So you figure you got over on Vegas. Like, yeah, I got over on society. Then you have to deal with the IRS. See, nobody was thinking about that. This is why I say the game is rigged. Society is a rigged game because, okay, let's just look at it like this. You hit the lottery for $10 million. You will barely see you will see under $5 million, because anything over 500,000 gets cut in half tax wise. So it's like you're going to always lose. And the only way you don't lose as much is when you take advantage of, certain situations that they'll have set up for you so that you can take advantage of maybe certain tax amenities, tax breaks, but nothing is going to completely 100% put you in the clear, because the house always wins. Now, taking that back to when I was talking about conspiracies, the same people calling people like myself and others who question everything around them conspiracy theorists made up this term. This term was made up specifically how to turn the rest of society against people who have common sense, who have common questions. You're not supposed to question authority. This is where they come up with conspiracy theorists. I like to say critical thinkers, because every single conspiracy, I say probably about 95% of all of the conspiracies I've heard have been validated in some way, shape, or form. Whether you're talking about 9/11, whether you're talking about Sandy Hook, whether you're talking about our pandemic or scamdemic, no matter what you talk about, everything that we said was bullshit turned out to be bullshit. I'm careful with my words because, I know they'll censor me and they'll probably take this down. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? It's about free speech. It's about being a voice for the voiceless. It's about asking questions that some people don't have the platform. Some people don't have the courage. People like me ask those questions for you. People like me, we do a little research and we show you what we come up with. And it's like 9 times out of 10, you were not far from the truth. So whatever you assume, don't ever think you crazy because you think something different from what's been reported in mainstream media. No, that's actually God in you peeking through, calling to ask questions, because when you sit back and you don't say anything, when you just let shit fly, you become numb inside. You become vague. You become a zombie, a social zombie, a consensus zombie. I ain't got time for that shit because, I smoke a lot of weed, which makes me think a lot. So I have logical questions just like the rest of y'all. But I want to show y'all 2 more books real quick. This is the ISIS papers. Oh, that's something I put on there in like high school. But yeah, I got this book back in high school, from Mr. Frank Allison, who used to head the NAACP here in Cincinnati. He gave me his copy personally. There's his name up at the top, not there, but up here. And I've read this book, I don't know how many times. I mean, countless times. Because the late Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, her book, The ISIS Papers, Keys to the Colors, is one of my favorite books. It's what I think should be required reading for every person of color in America. And when I say people of color, I hate to use that term, but I hate to use black even more, because black means you're retarded. Black means you're remedial. According to Black's Law Dictionary, it means that you're always in need of assistance. You're like a special needs child. And that's no shot to anyone that has special needs, but that's what the term black basically means according to Black's Law Dictionary. It means that you need help, that you cannot stand on your own. We attributed this shit to us because we looked at our skin color, which we are not black. It's like I said, it's a lot that goes into that, but this is all where America declassified its indigenous inhabitants, which were us. We're the real Indians, the real natives of this country. Shout out to Dane Calloway for making that known. Another book I want to show y'all real quick. Oh, hold up. Just while I showed y'all the ISIS papers, let me show y'all a picture of Dr. Frances. That's her right there, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. you know, remarkable sister. You know, she passed a few years back, and well, it's been some years. It hasn't been a long time. Within the last decade, and I just feel like not enough people know whom she is. Not enough people know about this book. It should be required reading for every Black person in America, you know, because it teaches you about the breakdown of racism. It shows you how racism plays out in different ways in society, not just us in dealing with, you know, social prejudices. No, it shows you how racism plays out in our sporting events, our relationships, um, just everything: food, labor, politics, entertainment, you know, sociology, psychology, emotionally. Racism, white supremacy, as it's called, is a pivotal thread in the American fabric. I don't care how much we try to look at things and we say, you know, especially to, you know, my white friends and everything. I mean, I know that they're sincere in their friendship with me and in things they do, but the rest of society has to realize just because you say you don't see color, that's not an excuse, you know, for you to try to ignore racism going on that surrounds you. And you would have thought that racism would be played out by now because it's taken so many other forms, you know, but what happens is it becomes more subtle. It becomes more ingrained into the fabric of things that we do every day, you know. And personally, I believe there's certain aspects of said racism has now crossed lines into other social situations. It's just like when the pandemic was going on, the masked versus the unmasked, the vaxxed versus the unvaxxed, you know, whether you were black, white, whatever. If you didn't have on a mask, people looked at you like you were crazy. If people asked, had you gotten the jibbity jab and you didn't, people looked at you like you had the damn heebie jeebies. Even though a lot of those folks that went and got that nonsense is going through their own situations right now. Some of them, you know, suffering complications, hell, even passing away. See, and they don't want you to talk about that. You know, they don't want you to talk about how you've got presumably healthy and passing away personal trainers. There were over like 170 personal trainers under the age of 30 who received the jibbity jab, passed away. Cardiac arrest, other situations. And it's like, we'll give every other excuse but this unregulated entity that we took into our bodies. I didn't take it. I told them, I take my chance with my fate. Yeah, I took my chance with my fate, as I will continue to do, because I'm a firm believer that just as it says in the scriptures, I've given you every seed-bearing herb and plant. Everything we need is right here. Every cure, every medicine, everything we need to keep ourselves alive, to keep ourselves in the right frame of mind, to keep ourselves cognizant, to keep ourselves healthy, alert, is all right here in front of us. What like Big Pharma does is they take these natural ingredients and they make synthetics out of them. This plays right into when I was talking about conspiracies. You see the truth, and what media will do, they'll synthesize it. They'll show you an image. Might be actually what's going on. They'll paint a whole nother narrative. They'll even input CGI. They'll input crisis actors. They'll change an entire narrative. And when you don't challenge what's being presented to you by mainstream media, it becomes world history. See, I don't think a lot of people take that serious. Everything we know to be bullshit, to be a lie, that us quote unquote conspiracy theorists have debunked, have proven to be a bunch of nonsense, it will still go down in the books as being history, as being fact, as being the truth. When the internet first became, no, before the internet became a household thing, when Bill Clinton, before he was president and everything, when he was just a politician, he did not want the internet to be something everybody had in their homes, because he said it would give people too much access to information. Nobody, and hell, it's just, you know, in the movie Malcolm X, and just like Kanye said, no one man should have all this power. Each and every one of us has power at our fingertips with our smartphones, our computers. You know, it's just we have a plethora of, you know, devices. And hell, shit, pick your ass up some books. Pick up some books and read, man. Reading is not it. Let me tell you something. I don't know if it's because we've become so distracted by just social media every day and, you know, all this other nonsense, that it's like nobody reads a damn book anymore. And I get it. I get it. Everybody ain't like me carrying around big ass books like this, like the Behold a Pale Horse, which this is about my 5th or 6th time buying it, because I've had it stolen twice, you know, and other 3 times I either gave it to somebody or lost it, you know. But this book right here, this Behold a Pale Horse, should be required reading for every man, woman, and child in America. I'm going to say that one more time. Behold a Pale Horse should be required reading for every man, woman, and child in America. Because what the author, Mr. William Cooper, Bill Cooper, the late Bill Cooper, oh, and it's a story that goes with that. He said that they were going to kill him for making this book and for the things that he reveals. He supposedly died in a shootout with the FBI. The reason I'm saying supposedly is because nowadays I don't know when people die, because we have death fakers, we have hoaxers, and it's legal to fake your death if you have enough money, if you have enough resources, if you have people that can help facilitate it. I'm not making this up. Look it up. You could do it in Vegas. You could do it in Cali. Cali especially, because Cali is the home of what? Hollywood. Hollywood, where all the death fakers are. All the people that you thought died are from Hollywood, or, well, they got their magic from Hollywood. From athletes to rappers to singers to whoever, television personalities. See, people always think like, oh man, you sound crazy talking about people fake their death. No, they sign your character. They sign your likeness. It's no different than when you enlist in the Army or the Navy, Air Force, Marines, yada yada yada, whatever. When you sign that paperwork, you become what? Property of the United States government. When you sign those contracts, see, what a lot of y'all don't know is they're not even using regular ink pens to sign those contracts. A lot of times those contracts are signed in actual human blood. I know that sounds crazy to you, some of y'all. It sounds far-fetched. It sounds whatever. But let me tell you something. The reason you see all this stuff presented, as I've told you before, they make it entertainment because this is the way the universe works. The universe only works on love and truth. I'm going to say that again. The universe only works on love and truth. When I say love and truth, I'm saying this. No one lies to you flat out. They tell you the truth. You just don't know how to listen. And you don't know what to look for. As the scriptures, let them that have what? Eyes to see, ears to hear. They'll tell you something flat out. Like they'll show you, okay, for instance, I was watching the recent House Party movie. You know, the one where they're at LeBron's house. And they're doing all of the Illuminati symbolism and everything, and, all of that. People have been telling you LeBron have been part of this shit for the longest. He's been doing all the symbolism for years. How does Hollywood kind of put a dampener on that at the same time controlling it? It's what we call damage control, guardrailing. What they do is you don't tell people that it's not true. You make fun of it. Understand how that works? See, you don't have to tell somebody that something isn't true. If you make fun of something, people automatically won't take it serious. But they never once told you that it was a lie. They just turned it into entertainment, which means to distract. And that's your conspiracy. Your conspiracy is the fact that every single thing you're presented